I'm Ariel Lee, and this is my God story. I was raised in a Christian home. My parents, my dad was a pastor over at a church called First E Free, just over on Woodlawn, and went into pro-life ministry back in summer of '93. So really, all I knew was being a Christian. That's how I was raised. But we were homeschooled all the way up until freshman year, and freshman year I went to Southeast High School, go Buffs, and ended up really realizing that my faith was not there. Started to chase what the world had to offer, and frankly struggled with self-worth and purpose, and struggled with the ability to really see God at work. And in essence, I turned to the world to try and fulfill that, whether it was parties, whether it was sports, whether it was popularity. That was my goal in life, was to try and fill this void that I felt existed. I really felt God's calling shortly after my grandfather died. That was the summer after my freshman year of college, and 242 had just started getting going. It really wasn't called 242 at the time, but went on a 242 retreat out at Westminster Woods, and really felt the Lord working and calling me home. And John Rolfe, who was a mentor of mine, many of you know, and I really talked a lot and felt like I'd never been baptized. And so I said, this camp means a lot to me. And so I actually got baptized out in the lake at Westminster Woods. And from that point, I feel like it's the first time I really realized what it meant to follow Christ, in terms of surrender, in terms of letting Christ live through me in that way. I feel like I really saw God at work when we went to Guatemala. I went as a leader to Guatemala. It will be 2 years ago this March. First time I'd ever been out of the country. First time I'd ever seen really the world as it really exists. Here we are sheltered in our 3-car garage, big houses, food to eat world. And I think the first thing I saw was just the reality of struggle that's out there. And we say we need God, but I mean, we really have it pretty easy. But I was really moved by, there were 4 guys that were actually hired to help us build this hospital, to lay this foundation for this hospital work. And it was just amazing. We would get up every morning when we would start. Wayne Becker would have us all pray, and every single, we'd bring them in every time and have them pray with us. And by the end of it, they were praying with us over this hospital, and they were all excited to get, a shirt that had John 3:16 on the back of it. And I'll never forget, it was our last night there, and we're back at our hotel, and we were eating at the place, and two of the 4 came. They were 19, 20 years old, something like that. 2 of the 4 came, and one of them was just crying and thanks for us being there. And it was just a really, really cool experience to see how we could let Christ live through us and show Christ to, not by standing there and preaching to them, not by telling them what they needed to do differently, but by just living life with them for 4 days and helping them build a hospital for their little village. And so that's probably one of the most impactful times of my walk.